didn't have to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of.
Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about ex-cons getting out and PTSD and all that. But before we do, if you like this content, prison content, hit that subscribe and like. And and one more thing. People have been telling me that they can't find LockUp Talk, so I'm going to put a link into the description. I can't talk. Anyway, let's get into this. When I first got out, and people were talking about PTSD for ex-cons, you know, I wasn't buying into it, you know, and I still don't think, I think I have it, but not that bad. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about people in general getting out. Some have it real bad. Some go crazy, lose their mind, whatever you want to call it, while they're in prison. They can't take it. You know? Imagine. And this especially goes for those in solitary confinement, or, you know, the whole whatever, if they spend a long time down there. Just imagine your bathroom and you're living in there. Just go in there and look. The bathtub is where your bunk's at. Toilet. You got a sink, but the sink's a lot smaller. You got a place for a little desk for your TVs and stuff. And spend all that time in there, and then you get out, you know. I've gotten so many on Quora and on here comments, people sharing with me their experiences. Some of them have nightmares about their time in prison. Some of them have dreams about going to prison. And speaking of dreams, I've never had dreams of going back to prison. I think I had one dream about prison when I've been out, but I've been out over 5 years, and I ain't had no dreams about it. But while I was in prison, I would have dreams about prison, except the prisons in my dream never really looked like prisons. They looked more like cities, you know, or towns. And other prisoners have told me the same thing. But, you know, imagine going in, like me, and this applies to many people. Some people have done more time than me. Banky, he's done 33 years. Banky Pound. But let's just take me for instance. I went in 1987. How old were you in 1987? Was you even born in 1987? I mean, was you even alive then, you know? And I got out in 2016. The world I came out to was not the world I left behind. It's a completely different world. So it's like a cultural shock. It's like going to a different country or something, you know? Everything, some things were the same, but many things were different. And even the way people thought and interacted with one another is different than when it was back then. But there's people getting out. They're not being rehabilitated. They're not getting therapy in prison. They're not getting taught job skills. And they're coming out here, you know, after going in when they were a teenager, coming out in their 40s, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s. And they're lost. They have nothing. Their parents have passed away or are real old. They don't know how to deal with things, you know. They have trouble getting jobs because they ain't got no experience. But they have these moments, you know, where they can't feel like they can't deal with things, you know. And I've had them a few times myself where I'm in a store and I can't take it. I have to leave the store. It's just too crowded. Or something reminds me of something in prison, and I just gotta go, you know. Today, somebody reminded me of something that I had really forgotten about, and that I saw in prison, and they told a similar story, and it just brought that memory back, you know. And I may tell that one day, but not today. But I'm not ready for it. But anyway, there's some people that get out and they seem fine. They don't have any problems, whatever. Some of them, like me, they have little problems here and there, but they can deal with it. But some of them get out and they're real bad off. They just can't take it. You know, everything, their whole mind is wrapped around prison. Anything that happens, they start thinking like a prisoner, you know, or they're reminded of things, or they have bad dreams, and it just goes on and on, you know. It's like I talked to this veteran, combat veteran, once, and he told me he does therapy for both. He started out doing it for veterans, but now he does ex-cons, and that's why he ended up talking to me, because he wanted to talk to me, you know. And but he told me there's a lot of similarities, you know, and that, like combat veterans, some of them come back and they can't cope. And he told me that there's some ex-cons that get out of prison and they just can't cope with society. And so they end up doing something to get sent back. I knew one guy when I first started doing my time. I guess I was, I've been at Missouri State Penitentiary about 5 years. I was getting ready to transfer me. In fact, I think that's why I was down there sitting on the bench waiting to see caseworker. Anyway, there was this guy sitting next to me, and he asked me, "Are you going home too?" No, I ain't going home. And he goes, "Well, I am." He goes, "It sucks." I said, "You don't?" It kind of shocked me, you know. I said, "Well, you don't want to go home?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I got a bed here, roof over my head, 3 meals a day, and all the men in the world. I had my pick." You know, he was into that lifestyle. He said, "So I'm going to go get out and get some money in illegal ways, and keister it, and come back." Never could understand that, and I still don't really understand it. But I do understand some people not just being able to deal with it. This guy told me this story the other day. I ain't going to give you his name, but he told me that he went into prison. I think he said he weighed 180, and he came out 120. I don't know how much time he spent in there, but he, from the way it sounded, he was losing his mind in there. He wasn't getting any money from home. Wasn't really eating the chow hall. What he did eat of it, you know, probably made him sick. And this carried on over after he got out. So, you know, and I couldn't believe it, you know. And I get these stories all the time. People tell me these stories, you know, about. Some of them are not bad. Some of them are just saying, you know, I have PTSD, you know, I have bad dreams or something, you know. Some of them, every once in a while, I get these stories like the one I just told you. I mean, there's more of that than what I just told you, but I ain't going to go into all of it. But I just want everybody to know that, you know, ex-cons, they don't have it easy. Sorry about that. I had an interruption. But anyway, Just want to say that, you know, people don't think about the mental stress that prison has on people. All of us are affected, no matter if we spent 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It affects us in some way. So I just want people to be aware of that. And because, you know, most people just think of ex-cons getting out and trying to find a job or something, but it's way more than that. So I just want everybody to be aware of that and just think about that a minute. And I thank you for watching. Bye.